Good morning, guys. Let's see how this goes. It's sopping wet out here. I've got my phone propped up in my hammock. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to give you guys a message. There was the biggest bird that just flew over. It was a vulture. Remember, I think it was a year ago, maybe two, where I shared vultures with you guys. There must have been 12 or more vultures out here over a year ago because of an animal that had passed down in the creek, and they were surrounding us. But anyway, I don't know if that's a sign, and if so, what? But anyway, let me get my train of thought. The last video I did for you guys, I was talking about Jesus, and I got emotional. And I'm just gonna tell you that every time I invite Jesus in, I can feel him, and I get very emotional like that, and it just overtakes me, and I just go with it. I can't control it. But my message for you today is to tell you, you always hear people say, God has a plan. God does have a plan. He had a plan. He, she, they had a plan when they made us. When they made, I believe this planet has existed for, I don't know, eternity. How God came, how, all of this started exactly, I don't know. But I know in my heart that his plan, their plan, was for all of us to live our best lives, for all of us to be happy. And guess what? It's that simple. You can live your best life. And I'm talking to you from experience, my experience. And that is that I began to realize that I couldn't have a decent life unless I put the Holy Spirit first. And people will say, oh, isn't there something more special? Isn't there something more magical? Well, that is special and magical. It's your perspective. And trust me when I tell you this. You can have a crappy life, or you can have a beautiful, joyful life. And it took me a while, because all those years ago, I thought I had a happy, joyful life. And it wasn't until the death of my mom that I finally got to see what I was doing in my life. And I was essentially putting on a happy face. I was making believe that I was happy. And because I wasn't loving myself. And I truly believe, I just saw 4:11 on the clock, and 4:14, 4:11 is how tall my mother was, and 4:14, that's my birthday. That's a sign. I had to learn to love myself. I was not loving myself, and I know that because I put everybody else's needs before my own, including in my marriage. I did everything for this person, and I stood on my head, and it didn't make me happy because he wasn't happy. It was ridiculous. So when I finally decided to look in the mirror and ask, Teresa, what makes you happy? What do you want? Only then did I realize that God's plan for me to be happy starts with me. Not what's out there outside of myself, but what is inside here? What am I asking for? What am I spending my time doing? How do I spend my time? Am I chasing something, someone else, copying someone else? Or am I concentrating on me, doing what makes me happy and living my best life? And whatever I'm sad about or have pain about, I get creative with that. I allow that to be the vehicle forward. Okay? I've got my Christmas cup still. Having coffee with y'all. But I've got some writing and painting to do today. But that, let me tell you, I have to come out. I've got my sign in front of me there between me, the creek, and the recreational center where people are happy, volleying back and forth. They're playing tennis. It's so wonderful. This rain, oh, it poured last night. But vow to put yourself first. Meet your needs first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I mean, no matter what you do, when you're trying to please someone else, you're never going to be happy. Eddie, come here. I'm sorry. Eddie has walked out of his, come here. Oh, come here. Let me fix it for you. He's got that little house coat, I call it. Okay, I think he's okay. Come here. I want to help you. Pull your arm out. There you go. His arm gets stuck in there. This helps me. It's beautiful today. Every time the sun comes out, get into it. Stand in it and let it hit you. Let the sun hit you, wake you up. There's nothing more real than nature. Nature doesn't put on for anybody. She puts on a show to beat the band. But she doesn't pretend. Everything about nature is real. You know, it's not a put on. It is, but it isn't. So I do my best thinking, my best creative thoughts come when I sit out here. So God has a plan, and his plan is for you to live your best life. And you live your best life by putting your best foot forward and starting with yourself, putting yourself first. Be selfish enough to put yourself first so that you can give to others from a more divinely loving place, and put God first. You can't have anything in this life until you do. I know this from experience. When I lost my mother, my world came crashing down. Everything changed in my life. I lost my mom shortly after my divorce happened, and from that divorce, my life exploded. And it took 8 years to get to this point, and every day it's growing and evolving and changing according to my thoughts and how I feel and how I see myself and where I put my actions and my attentions. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave you guys with that and say, God has a plan. Go and do it. Put yourself first and go do what makes yourself happy. Joy. Create the joy within you. And wear something that makes you feel. Red makes me feel good and powerful. See you guys later. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.